Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer with Oculus Rift Reviews, now with Windows Mixed Reality. Today we're going to do final review for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR, a game for every major headset. Normally retails for 40 bucks. I actually did a pre-order on Green Man Gaming just because it was a lot cheaper there. But I do highly recommend this game. This is one of the best VR games I have ever played. I would definitely put it in my top 5 experiences. It might even be the best experience, just depending on what type of gameplay you like. One thing though, I do highly recommend that you do what I did, which is add the voice immersion and definitely take off the vignettes, especially if you are VR veteran. You don't need those, but definitely the voice immersion does add a little extra. What that means is that the zombies will respond to your sound. So yeah, try not to scream. I had fun with Saints and Sinners. It took me approximately 16 hours, maybe a little bit longer, to finish the campaign, and that was a very methodical gameplay. Now, I didn't try to search every nook and cranny for every day that you were able to explore, and that's obviously because there is a time mechanic here. So if you don't know, you're given a limited amount of time to do your mission. Once it's midnight, or once the bell tolls, whatever, once it's dark, a whole lot of zombies come in, and it's pretty much impossible to survive. And at that point, you just gotta basically run back to your skiff and get out of Dodge. Now, there is one mechanic that does help you get around that problem, but even that's a little problematic because it is also limited. So you're able to put zombie guts all over your body, and that prevents the zombies from attacking you. However, it's limited time only, so even then, you can't really go around exploring all you want. That's just really a way where you can explore it till the very last minute. And once you see zombies are nearby, or not too close, obviously, you can put on the zombie guts and, get out of Dodge. So, yeah, this game, just by design, you cannot fully explore the whole area because you have a limited amount of time. So you really have to decide what's important. And at first, I wasn't sure about that game design, but the more I played this game, the more I enjoyed that, and it really made you think, what's really important? What's really important with my time? What's the best use of my time? Whether it's getting to the objective, whether it's exploring, whether it's trying to find a hidden weapon cache, or just a supply cache. You really have to make hard decisions in this game, and that's part of the gameplay loop, and it's a very fun gameplay loop. And each night that you survive, things get harder. There's less supplies out there, and there's more zombies out there. So as you progress in the game, just by definition, it gets more difficult. Not only that, but you have to deal with humans. And this is, in case you're wondering, the gameplay that I'm showing, I've already beaten the game, and this is towards the end of the game. Basically, everyone's attacking me because at the very end, I kind of did not choose one side over the other. Even though at first I was picking the Reclaimed. So you have two factions in this game. You have the Reclaimed and you have the Tower. And through the actions in the game, where you get to decide, which ones you're friendly with or whether they're aggressive towards you. In my gameplay, I chose the Reclaimed, so for the most part, they were not attacking me until the very end of this game, where I made a decision that was contrary to their wishes. So now, after I've basically beaten the game, now both factions are actually just shooting me on sight, which does make the game difficult. So both the Tower and the Reclaimed are just after me. I will say that the shotgun is very effective, and that's a weapon that I highly recommend that you use early on, especially when dealing with humans. You obviously don't want to bring a knife to a gunfight, or in this case, the spiked knee and bat to the gunfight. But they're perfect for zombies. I did test this game out on both the Oculus Rift and Windows Mixed Reality. And what I found out was that this game was just easier with the Oculus Rift with my 3-sensor setup, just because the tracking was a lot easier. And for braining some of the zombies, that's what it's called, as far as when you basically knife their brains out and kill them, or you could also decapitate them with the sword. But especially when they have a helmet on, there's only a limited area where you can knife them to brain them and kill them for good. And so you really need good tracking for that, and I just found it much easier with the Oculus Rift. So I did play most of this game on the Oculus Rift. But other than that, I didn't notice any issues. They did, at first I was drifting, but they fixed that issue, so I no longer drift. So both VR headsets play fine, but just the better tracking on the Oculus Rift, I would say, gives me the, if you have an option between either or, definitely go with the VR headset that has the better tracking, because you will need it for this game, because you do need some fine precision for some of those braining kills. I did enjoy the story campaign. There were some difficult choices you have to make along the ways. So earlier I mentioned how each day you're scavenging and you're having to make tough decisions on what actions to take. You know, where should I go? What should I try to accomplish? And what items should I get? Also, part of the hard decision is that you have a limited inventory, so you really can't take everything, and you really want to fill your backpack before you leave any area, if you can. But you're always making hard decisions, you know, what to take and what to leave behind. And while the story doesn't always give you a decision what to do, usually there are several quests where you are having to make decisions on who should I help, who should I not help. There's, for example, there's several like little side quests where you have NPCs asking you for help, whether it's bandages or whatnot, and you're having to make a tough decision. Can I afford to give up my bandage and give it to this person when I really need it myself? So there are some tough decisions along the way as well, and some of the quest choices. Should I help this person? One of the quests early on is a hostage situation where you're sent to rescue a person, and you're basically put on the spot there on whether you should save this one person or get into a big fight with his captors. So you're pretty much put in a pretty tough moral, ethical dilemma early on in this gameplay, and throughout the game you're making tough decisions. And I really like that. Just everything about this game is tough. You know, what the supplies, you can't make everything you have. One of my biggest regrets is not taking all the Twinkies that I saw. And if you're playing this game, especially if you're trying to get to be able to craft the medical supplies, sugar is like the most difficult thing to find. And early on, I saw lots of Twinkies lying around, and I didn't take them because I thought, you know, you don't need to take Twinkies. But I was wrong. Yes, you do need to take Twinkies. So, you know, like I said, there's just tough decisions to make all over the place. What should I take? What should I not? Which objective do I need to focus on? How do I get there? What's the quickest way? Should I go stealth? How should I attack this situation? You'll be brought into situations where a location is well guarded with lots of human NPCs, and they have like assault rifles, and you're just outgunned, and you need to figure out a way to still be able to go inside and take the item that you need. And so you're given an option on what to do. You can do it any way that you want, but obviously the most difficult way to do it is to go guns a-blazing. Overall, I loved The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR. I think it's a great game. I highly recommend it. My final score is an 8.5 out of 10. Some of you may be wondering why I'm not scoring it higher. There are some issues that I noticed. One of the issues early on is when you go to the church graveyard, and there's like a area that you just can't walk to. And you'll notice that that's pretty prevalent in the game, where the locations, while they are big for VR, they're not big for like an open world type game. You'll notice that the levels are really all blocked off, and there's several locations like that where the area is blocked off. Some of it's not natural, especially, like I said, once you get to the park, the Jazz Park, you'll notice there's just an area there I can't walk through. It's just like an imaginary boundary. I don't know if they've patched that since I went there, but I do know when I played the game, there was just an imaginary boundary there that just didn't let me get past that. And I think that some of the quests, especially towards the end, could have been done better. For example, I befriended JB, and he wanted me to do something, and I didn't do it. And towards the end, I never saw him again. So, and I was expecting that. I was really expecting, okay, well, you know, I didn't do what JB wanted, so there's going to be some kind of retribution, something bad's going to happen. And no, it really doesn't. And so there is, like, no real true ending. Don't get me wrong, the ending is not horrible. I just think that was like a missing piece of the puzzle that doesn't really get resolved. And it's kind of mysterious why that happens. I was hoping to see JB one last time and have a confrontation about why I didn't do what he wanted me to do at the very end. And same thing with May. Like, early on I crossed May. I chose against her, and we got into a fight, and then I never saw her again. So yeah, I don't know what happened with May. Maybe she died. I don't know. It was kind of, you know, I didn't feel the impact of my decision, and it didn't really have a closure there. Maybe she died in the fight. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I didn't kill her. So, you know, it was just a little bit unresolved there. But still, this is an excellent game. One of the best experiences in VR. I highly recommend it. I'm Fast Lawyer. If you like my review, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.